If you aim high enough, you will eventually hit a wall. Institutions often look at your background, your zip code, or your bank account, and use those metrics to hand you a definitive rejection. They use the word impossible as a gatekeeping tool. It is a label designed to discourage you from even making the attempt, saving the institution the trouble of evaluating your actual potential. But impossible is rarely a static fact. Most of the time, it is just an observer's opinion. You can dismantle that opinion through a daily operating procedure called the resilience routine. To start, you need 3 physical tools: the goal you were told you couldn't reach, a physical notebook or digital planner, and a standard alarm clock. Acquiring these tools shifts the locus of control. You are no longer waiting for a gatekeeper's permission. You are focusing on your own daily choices. The immediate aftermath of a setback is heavy. The natural human response is to turn away from the failure and lean into self-pity. Step 1 is the mirror protocol. It is the deliberate act of facing a setback head-on rather than ignoring it. Sit with your planner, write down the exact nature of the rejection. Then perform a physical gesture, like tying back your hair or clearing your desk, to signal you are ready to begin. The protocol is only complete when your internal state shifts. You stay in this step until the feeling of defeat is replaced by a quiet, firm determination. Now you move to execution. Step 2 is the 4 a.m. start. This is a tactical choice, allowing you to operate before the noise and distractions of the world begin. The sequence is mechanical. At 4 a.m., the alarm rings. By 4:01, feet on the floor. At 4:02, hydrate. By 4:05, you're at the workspace. The primary failure points are the snooze button and phone. Strict rule: 0 social media. Reclaiming these earliest hours builds a level of personal discipline that is independent of any external validation. Even with discipline, you will face physical roadblocks. You may lack the funding, professional resources, or specialized equipment the industry expects you to have. Step 3 is the resource audit. This is a method to bridge the gap between what institutions say you need and what you actually have. First, list the perceived needs, the expensive equipment or high-end software you've been told is mandatory for your goal. Now, look at your immediate environment. Identify free or discarded materials that can mimic the core function of that expensive gear. Do not wait for a budget. Use those scraps to construct a functional version of your tools today. The trap here is visual imperfection. You cannot let the crude look of your makeshift gear become an excuse to delay your practice. Taking immediate action with flawed tools builds skill faster than waiting idly for perfect conditions. This work is often lonely. It usually happens in a cramped or inadequate space, while the people around you are resting. This is step 4, the unseen grind. It is a non-negotiable 90-minute block of intensive, uninterrupted effort. This chart distinguishes true output from busy work. Goal-oriented output requires active exertion and focus. Busy work, like endless organizing, is comfortable, but it doesn't move you forward. You will likely feel physical discomfort, whether it's fatigue or the heat of a small room. View this as tangible proof of your effort rather than a reason to stop. This daily 90-minute block is the engine. It is what eventually generates the results that turn an impossible goal into a reality. Review the 4 components you've locked in: the mirror protocol, the 4 a.m. trigger, the resource audit, and the 90-minute grind. If you complete this 90-minute block every day, you will accumulate over 500 hours of focused work in a single year. This volume of effort begins to outweigh the initial barriers of your background. You shift from feeling overwhelmed by systemic gatekeeping to having absolute sovereignty over your own daily schedule. By the time you reach your objective, you have built a body of work that is difficult to ignore. You are no longer just an applicant. You are a practitioner with a finished result. Set your alarm for 4 a.m. tonight. Tomorrow morning, you initiate step 1 of the routine. Impossible was only an opinion. Your routine is the evidence to the contrary. Break the barrier.